Small business is about courage, risk-taking, independence, and we small business owners are survivors. Everybody has an idea for a business, but how do you take that idea from mind to market? This is the place to learn.
Small Business School with Hattie Bryant.
It's a new kind of school. Together we'll learn about business from the inside out, from the people who've done it. We'll meet the men and women who are today's pioneers and quiet heroes. Their lives are the textbooks. Our classroom is the world.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
Hi, I'm Hattie Bryant. What is it within us that pushes us to reach for the stars? Is it money? Fame? I don't think so. On this television show, you hear a lot about bringing ideas from mind to market. Well, today we go into one of the best industrial design firms in the world, a hotbed of creativity. A wonderful melange of personalities and nationalities, they reach for a higher perfection and get there. They call it visioneering. I rather think it's the soul of the American economy. Did you ever wonder where all these gadgets and gizmos we use every day come from? We'll show you. Let's go to Portland, Oregon to meet the rock star of industrial design. The place is called Ziba Design, and the founder is Saurabh Vasugi.
The design is a continuum. It never ends. Once you do something, you know that it can be done better. We are really a brand consultancy with our expertise in product development. Developing brands in the dimensional spaces.
In 2001, Ziba became the first firm in the world to ever win 4 gold awards in the annual Industrial Design Excellence Awards competition run by the Industrial Designers Society of America. In fact, no firm in the world has won as many awards per employee as has Ziba. Must mean small is beautiful.
Ziba means beautiful in Farsi, which is the language of Persians.
Right.
I wanted to come up with a name that's easy to say, easy to spell, and at the same time has a meaning. This is really nice. I mean, the way it tapers down to, that's nice. From beginning, I never had limitations in my mind about what can be done and what cannot be done. I always question things. What if? What if? The word what if is very important. So I suggest that people should take these limitations that they put for themselves in their mind away and start basically challenging what's norm.
Okay.
And then say, what if, well, why should something be like that? And what if it was like this? And then see what comes out of it.
In 1970, when he was 14 years old, Saurabh came to this country from Iran and he became a U.S. citizen 1 year later. By 1984, he had finished college and had some big business experience. With a couple of freelance projects under his belt and a total of $400, he quit his job with the goal to solve problems through innovative design. Why is this product so important to Ziba?
Well, this product, Claret Squeegee, is actually, I could say, the product that really launched us. I mean, it got a lot of publicity. There was this accountant from Nike. We were doing some work for Nike then, and he found out about us, and he had just bought this house in one of the suburbs of Portland, and the house had a clear glass shower doors. And in order to preserve the clarity of the glass, you have to usually wipe the glass after you take a shower, and you usually use a squeegee or you use a towel.
Right.
Basically, say, if I can sell a nice looking squeegee, I think there's a need for it. We found out that the T-handle on the squeegee is actually created for reach, to be able to, extend your hand to, above your height to clean the windows. And also, so for inside enclosure of a shower, It's very tight, and you can't use that. It's very cumbersome.
So in 1 year he sold how many?
He sold $16 million worth of these
In 1 year.
In 1 year, in the second year, and he had 2 people, himself and another salesman. So you can imagine $8 million per employee. This is now a permanent collection of Smithsonian Museum, and was in Museum of Modern Art. It was in their store selling too, and became, it's been on the cover of many books and magazines about design. So it's been a very famous product, and really people a lot of times connotate, kind of relate us to, oh, these are the people who did the squeegee.
You're the squeegee guys.
Yeah, the squeegee guys.
Now, in addition to the home office in Portland, there are offices in Tokyo, Taipei, Boston, and San Jose, staffed by a total of 80 people from 17 countries who are generating nearly $12 million in annual sales. Clients include Intel, Hewlett-Packard, McDonald's, FedEx, Procter & Gamble, Rubbermaid, Nike, Microsoft, Ford, and Whirlpool. The who's who of big business. In the lobby of Ziba headquarters, just a few of its creations are on display.
This was huge success because Microsoft wasn't actually in this market at all. This was the first keyboard for the masses, I call it. They were thinking about they would sell 600,000 of these a year, and then after 3 months it was shot up to about 600,000 a month.
Right.
This was a mind-boggling kind of success there. This is a huge success story. Coleman, the camping stove guys, came to us and said, here's our brand, this is what it stands for, and we want to get into the home market. We did a lot of research, and we actually created this, again, another strategy for them, where we created a broom button here.
Oh, so that's for a broom handle.
Yeah,
So you just go
you can
pop.
see it's concave.
I see.
And then it's large, so when it goes on, all you have to do is just get a stick and push it.
That was
That's
too simple, wasn't it?
Well, usually the best designs are the simple designs.
Is this selling?
Coleman went from no presence to 40% market share.
No! You guys are good!
We are able to look at things from a very strategic point of view, looking at what the user needs from the overall experience, because it's not just about holding that product or looking at that product and the aesthetic of it. It's about turning it on, using it, moving it around, how you use it, what you're using it for, what are the different users that use this, and what are their particular needs.
Ziba's philosophy is by looking at the entire context of how a problem is supposed to be solved, or how a product exists or a service exists in the world. We can really narrow and focus what the creative activity or the creative guys are supposed to be looking at. So we're solving very specific problems.
We're never satisfied with what we design. If we ever become satisfied in what we do, then that's the end of us. Meaning that there's always a better way to do it, and there's always a way to enhance it. We are against schedules, we are against budgets, and within the budget and schedules that we have and commitments we have to the client, and our clients against those things too, are against those things. So we do our best, but would we be able to do it better? Of course. So then we are always looking for a better way to do it, and that's the way you drive yourself.
The design philosophy of Ziba is spelled out. Strive for simplicity, innovation, human-centered interaction, visual interest, and efficiency. Teams are constantly at work in one of Ziba's 5 project phases. First, they must understand the emotional and rational needs of the customer, the client, and the competition.
You're looking at all these different perspectives, and you're finding which ones are the most relevant for driving the creative process.
Then they conceive a concept. Next, they capture ideas and articulate them in words, drawings, and forms.
We have a radius on the bottom, and we have this ball joint.
This phase is followed by the creation of a prototype. And finally, the real product is born.
We are making speakers.
The styrofoam is an inexpensive way for designers to feel the product before it goes downstairs into the shop for real prototype building.
You can draw things that aren't actually possible. So you get into 3D, and that's when you actually find out the way the form works, the way it feels. It's very different from the way it looks on a sketch to how it actually feels once it's in your hands.
It's almost like a lie. The fact that you don't really know how those surfaces behave. In 3D, you resolve all of that. You hope to get essentially, the character of the product.
Word of mouth is the best way to bring in work, and that happened. From day one, that project was our only project. That client was our only client, and we did our best for that client, and we delivered way beyond what we promised, and the client expectation was always over-delivering. We are our own worst competitors. We are like, I always tell everybody, we are like athletes. You try to beat your own time. We have a mission, we have a goal, and that goal is to be the best in everything that we do. Anything that we have brought in, any service that we have brought in has been, the mandate has been to make it the best that there ever was.
In Portland, Oregon, Saurabh serendipitously found a great place to build a business. Even in this rainy place, plenty of employees prefer to ride, not drive to work. Ziba provides safe parking.
That was one of the most compelling things about coming to Ziba, was that there are people from all over the world here, and there are people from so many different backgrounds. And you always have different attitudes and values that are kind of bubbling up. So you just learn a lot about the world on its own, just being in these four walls. You know, I think we represent, over the years that I've been here, we've represented maybe 12 distinct countries, 12 or 15 distinct countries.
Culture is not just nationality, but culture is also all the different backgrounds that people bring here, which is a pretty compelling piece of the story as well.
My first degree is in cognitive science, which I got at the University of Rochester in upstate New York. My second degree is a graduate degree in industrial design.
It's definitely a cross-discipline, team-oriented experience. So we pull in people across all different disciplines.
More or less a third-generation American, although I'm Jewish. So, you know, it's a fascinating little tidbit because we have this Muslim boss and a Jewish coworker, but it's really not really an issue here, which is very cool. Everybody is pretty respectful of one another.
It's renowned internationally through the ISA awards. It's won quite a few over the years. And
So as a kid, did you know about Ziba and say to yourself, hey, I want to go to America and be there? Or what?
through college, yeah. America's very attractive for our profession. Basically, industrial design was born in America, Raymond Loewy, etc. So it was kind of developed here. So this is kind of like coming to Mecca. You have to come to America to see where it's all, you know, where it's all come from.
I knew about it from the beginning in school. Everybody knows about Ziba, and you know, I kind of made it a goal when I was in school to get an internship there or here, and everybody said, good luck. But you know, I did the same thing. I called these guys and pestered them. And
So what's the difference of working for a really big company and a company like this size? 'Cause this isn't tiny, this isn't small, but it's a small business.
It's fast-paced. You work on a wide variety of projects, which is great, and you also get to interact with a client, which when you're interacting corporate, it's not quite the same dynamic, which makes it interesting.
We operate with kind of two types of contacts. This is something we've learned over time that really helps. So we have a program director and we have a project manager. And you know, in some other professional services situations, a program director might be called an account manager. But what differentiates a program director, at least in our minds, from an account manager is that we have both a deep capability and experience and appreciation for doing the work itself. So that makes us actually the ones that aren't just trying to manage a relationship. We're also actually responsible for giving our clients the confidence that, hey, Ziba can get the right job done for you and do it well.
Why do you think you all are so good at what you do? I mean, what do you think are the components that cause you all to win all these awards, that your customers keep coming back or clients come back over and over? You know, what is it?
Internally, we all strive for being a perfectionist. I mean, that's what it is. It's the quality we push in ourselves, and as a whole, we push the quality of the total of the company.
I mean, we're not just creatives here. I think we're creatives that think. I mean, we have very strong business sense, and that comes through in the research that we do and our strategic approach. So it's a marriage of both. It's thinking design, you know, it's not just doing design.
Creativity. What is it? What makes us want to do something better, cheaper, faster? I don't think it's just competition. I don't think it's just financial reward. Bruce and I talk about this frequently, and he believes we are all inherently striving for a higher perfection, and those of us who are not have simply lost our vision and hope for the future. You really won't find many couch potatoes among small business people. Look at Saurabh and his team. They are constantly struggling for insight and ideas. Sure, they have the luxury. They get paid just to look at something for highly energized periods of time, and they ask the question, how can we do it better? They are forever pushing the equations that balance form and function. But look at that wonderful diversity of people. The different nationalities, backgrounds, personalities. That is a special stew that is brewing. Perhaps the thing we can all learn from these bright teams of enthusiastic thinkers is simply this: take time to think, and its corollary, explore new ideas with a diversity of people. To read the entire script of this program, go to smallbusinessschool.org. Bob Marchant is a friend, mentor, and customer to Saurabh, and he is founder of Modo, a healthcare products manufacturer. The two of them meet as often as they can to discuss the current challenges they both face in running their companies.
Well, Ziba is, in my mind, one of the top 5 design firms in the world. They've created products for leading global brands all over the world, and their products have been consistently successful. One of the things that differentiates Ziba is that all of their designs are informed by economics. They understand that it does no good for a product to win an award but not make a profit for the customer or for the client that's actually bringing it to the marketplace. So in designing products for large technology companies or for large medical device companies, the Ziba folks understand that it's not enough for the form to be interesting or exciting or for the form to generate market acceptance. It's important for the form to be profitable, for somebody to be able to make it and for it to work reliably.
After Saurabh discovered that a bookkeeper was embezzling and a mentor told him the business needed a CFO, he hired his brother, Sia.
We got to a point about 7-8 years ago where we were stuck at a certain revenue. We couldn't push over that, and it was chaotic and people were trying really hard and everything else, but it just wouldn't happen. So we sat down and we actually strategized. We brought a couple of our clients who were MBA graduates, and they sat down with us and strategized about where we wanted to go in the next 5 years. And based on that also, we decided what type of infrastructure we needed. We realized that in order for us to grow, we needed to figure out how best to retain the individuals over here, and one of the tools that we are using is our ability to give a stock option to individuals.
Okay, wait a minute, let me get this straight. So you are now allowing employees to own stock?
That is correct.
That's great. Okay, now when did you start that and how did you do it? What instruments? Did you go to a stockbroker, your attorney, to put all this together? How does that happen?
We went to our attorney, and then we also have a human resource consultant working with us to put the plan together. When our employees get reviewed, which is once a year, everybody gets reviewed. It's a 360 degrees review. And the group directors, their direct reports, they suggest the name of the individuals who should be compensated, just not in cash wise, but also in stock situation, to this committee of 3, which is my brother Saurabh plus 2 other individuals, 2 other employees, and then they make a decision of how many shares of option are given to each individual.
Okay, so they're given the stock. They're not, if I worked here, I couldn't write you a check and buy some.
No.
I have to earn it by my
correct.
contribution
That is
okay.
right.
So what your attorney put in place
Is a employee stock option plan, or ESOP, as they call it.
and the people that have stock are staying.
That is correct. And they share in major decisions of the company. We let them join the management group in making decisions that affects the bottom line.
One of my golden rules is that what is good for the goose is good for the gander. Whatever is good for me should be good for the next person. If you want them to feel like this is their own company, give them what you have.
I think the thing that surprised me most when I got here is that Saurabh actually sits in the same office with everyone else. You know, I've worked in corporate environments and other consultancies. When I came here and saw that he was actually sat in the corner of the room, that was a real big thing for me. He wasn't closing himself off. He wasn't putting himself away from the people who work for him. You know, he's in there, right in the middle of it.
It's great to have a leader that you can go to and throw these creative ideas off of and really gets it.
Well, he's like anybody else that you hear about a lot and you kind of admire from afar and you read about in magazines. You know, you don't really know them as a person. Then you get here and you get to work with them, and you know, it's great. It's such a learning experience.
Anything you make, you put it back into business. That's what I used to do. For the first 6 months, and I didn't take a single dime out of business. We had our saving. We got rid of the house.
Right.
We went with one car. You know, we did everything. You sacrifice. There's a saying back home in Persian that says, for 1 year you eat bread and just water.
Bread and water.
Then you can eat bread and butter for the next 10 years.
How does that sound in Farsi?
یک سال بخور نون و تره 100 سال بخور نون و کره.
Okay, so if I eat bread and water for a year.
1 year you eat
bread and butter the rest of my life.
Bread and water, and then for 10 years you eat, you can eat bread and butter. Meaning that you gotta really, make things, it's hard at the beginning.
Right.
If you wanna really make it, you have to sacrifice.
Most people who come from another country recognize the opportunities that this country offers. And basically we recognize that how easy it is to start your own business, to grow your own business, and to basically be successful over here.
We have a lot of foreign nationals here in Ziba, over 17 different nationalities. And I heard from many of them, because we sit down and talk. Somebody said, this is immigrant syndrome. I said, what is immigrant syndrome? It means that you know what opportunities in this country, because you have a frame of reference. Truly, this is the land of opportunity. There's no question about it. I can attest to it. It is a land of opportunity. And if you work hard, and if you really, have integrity and be honest, you can do a lot. People ask me, what gives you inspiration? I said, everything. I'm walking around, I look at the floor, I see a pattern, I see a design, I see a writing, I see a shape, and that could be the answer for a problem I've been trying to solve for a long time. So looking at answers in everything is very important, and then being able to see it. And every time you have a different problem, you look at the same thing, you'll see a different answer. I didn't start the business because of money. I started because I loved what I was doing, and I saw that I have so much more that I can offer and I can do for people, I can use my creativity, my talent for different things. I can't wait to get up in the morning and come to work after 17 years. It's still fun. It's with all its problems and things, because there's always problems. But I love challenge, and everything happens. Every obstacle comes up, every issue that comes up at Ziba, I look at as a challenge and as a problem to solve. And that's our business. We are problem solvers. 10 years ago, I came in one day to Ziba. This is a story I tell everybody. I came into Ziba and I'm from the old school. I used the drafting table. I know how to use computer, but only for word processing and for some of the other, email and the stuff like that. I don't know how to design on the computer. So I never had, I like to learn it, but I haven't had a chance to do that. So I came in and I saw my drafting table gone. Then we were using drafting table. And they said, oh, we have a new employee. They took mine and put it in the front of this guy. It was a sad day and also a big day of realization for me, because I called, my friend who's an advisor to the company. I said, he said, how are you doing? I said, I'm not doing well. Today I came in, my drafting table is gone, and I feel like I'm no longer a designer. I know that I wasn't using it, but now I think that all these years I went to school and everything to be a designer, I'm no longer a designer. I'm an administrator. I'm running a business. And he told me something. He said, Saurabh, don't forget, you're still designing, but at a different level. Everything you do is about design. And I look at it that way, then I realize that Ziba is my design project. And I'm building it and designing it, redesigning it every day. So I'm not done with my project.
take time to think, to dream, to explore the inner recesses of your mind. You might be shocked to find wonderful new insights that help make our world a better place. For the 15 million of you who operate a one-person business, remember, Saurabh started at his kitchen table. You may want to stay there, but to grow, spend time with people with different backgrounds and disciplines. The cross-fertilization of ideas may jumpstart your next new revenue stream.
Small Business School is made possible by support from the United States Postal Service, delivering the promise to America's 23 million small and growing businesses. There's no wait at the post office in your own office. USPS.com is waiting for you. And by Microsoft.
We see you building a new company from an old company. We see a business full of potential. We're inspired to create software that helps you reach it.
If you want to learn more about starting, running, and growing a business, come to our website, smallbusinessschool.org. There's streaming video and interactive study guides. The only way we can compete with big business is to be faster, smarter, and better. We are the engine of the American economy. We create the jobs. Small business is about big commitment. It's about sacrifice and struggle. But we do it because we say, if I don't do this, my life won't be complete.